Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'll be playing some more Lords of the Fallen. Of course, this is the 2023 reboot by CI Games, and just want to quickly go through the in-game settings before I do anything else. So I'm playing at a resolution of 3840 by 2160, and I'm using AMD FSR Quality preset, and everything else is at ultra settings with film grain, chromatic aberration, and motion blur disabled. Now I am using patch version 1.1.191 as that came out early this morning to address a few crashes that have been happening with a lot of players. And if you notice that there wasn't any frame generation option available anymore, they've actually gone ahead and disabled frame generation due to so many users having crashes. So unfortunately I wasn't able to do FSR free testing, but on a more positive note, I have been enjoying the game. It's been a bit of a learning curve because there's so many new mechanics, but once you start to get used to it, it's a really good game, and it looks absolutely awesome as well. I really hate the projectile throwing enemies, and especially the ones that are protected by parasites, so you have to siphon off the parasite protection, and then you can actually kill the enemy, because if you don't, you'll just be attacking it and it won't be taking any damage. Another issue I've found on this game is just like when you want to lock onto an opponent, it's so easy to switch to another enemy. It can kind of mess up your targeting and get you into a bad situation. Try not to get ambushed by these guys. There's another one of those guys throwing attacks from the top here, so they're like the worst enemies in the game. You really gotta stay on top of them because they've got really good accuracy. There's another one over here as well, so you can really take a lot of damage if you're not careful. So the game is extremely demanding, even with FSR at the quality preset with 7900 XTX and 7950X 3D. I'm still barely getting over 60 FPS at times. And I read in my comments, because this is obviously an Unreal Engine 5 game, that depending on what settings you use, it does actually have some elements of ray tracing in it. This guy's stubborn. So you may want to experiment with a few of the settings, dropping them from ultra down to high. And that way you can see a massive performance boost depending on the setting that you change. So this is definitely isn't optimized settings. This is just me trying to max the game out and seeing how it performs. But as you can see, I'm dipping below 60 FPS here. Oh, just about. It still feels relatively smooth, but it would be nice if I could maintain 60 at all times, but the game is really that demanding. But it doesn't seem to use much VRAM. As you can see, I'm only using around 8.6. So VRAM constraints are not really too much of an issue for most people. As long as you got a 10 GB or more VRAM to play with, you should be okay. So I was actually no. This guy is pretty hard to kill. I'm gonna try and pull his spirit out of him, and then if you attack that, you can weaken him. But he's pretty tough. Best way I found is just to keep attacking him. Don't give him time to come at you, because ultimately you can't really block his attacks. Killed him just in time. He was about to use his berserk attack where he does like 5 attacks in a row, which you have to try and dodge. So I've got 6,000 vigor now. I want to head back to basically a bonfire and level up my character a little bit. So this is like the Umbral realm. You need to use your lamp to see other passages. You're kind of seeing a world between a world almost. Okay, so I've put fire on my blade. This will do a little bit more damage and cause a burning effect as well. I've noted that the CPU usage since the update seems to be a little bit more. The update didn't provide too many changes. There were a few balance changes. I'll post a link in the comment section or the description so you guys can see exactly what's been changed, but there has been some stability issues with the game. I've experienced quite a few. My game crashed a few times already today, so they really need to get this sorted because we see it too often with new games. The quality control is just not there. So I want to put some strength and endurance up. I can only afford 2 levels up, but I don't feel safe carrying around so much vigor because it's so easy to die on this game. Graphically though, I still think it's really good. It's definitely not as good as the trailers showed, but it's not that far off, so I'm not that bothered, especially with the performance levels that people are experiencing. They probably had to tone it down a little bit. My main thing is that the gameplay is relatively smooth. I've heard a lot of people complain about stuttering. I haven't really experienced that, so on both of my systems, my RTX 4090 and my 7900 XTX, so it might just be a VRAM limitation some people are experiencing. So as again I mentioned about the Umbrella realm, you need to go into this realm to kind of progress, because the normal realm, sometimes there's obstacles. The problem about being in this place is you'll keep getting attacked by enemies that have died, and the longer you stay in here, the more you get ganged up on. So I want to try not to get too ganged up on, so I'm trying to deal with them one by one. See, 7900 XTX just about providing a 60 FPS experience at ultra settings with FSR Quality. Would have been nice to try out frame gen, but maybe in a few patches they'll re-enable it once they got all the crashes sorted. But again, not much CPU usage. I know it's at 4K and things are quite GPU bound, but less than 20% usage on a CPU. And you can see why a lot of these games are CPU bound as well, because you need really fast CPUs because they're so single threaded. But it seems like the game uses the V-cache cores more than the standard cores, so I'm happy with that at least. Alright, I need to find a way to get back to the normal realm. Just about got out of the way of that. We've got another one as well. Yeah, I could see a lot of people dying in this place. The enemies just keep on coming when you're in this realm. Okay, finally a way back out of here. Okay, I found some holy ward. I think this will protect me from specific magic attacks. So I meant to actually find a plank of wood that I meant to kick over and create a bridge, so I'm going the wrong way at the moment. Thing about the lamp, it uses, you lose a bit of health every time you use it, so you need to siphon some of that energy back when you can. These things just keep on coming, so I don't want to hang around too long. So you're just dipping below 60 here, so you know the game is just ridiculously demanding, unfortunately. But hopefully some performance improvements do come. I can tell why they pushed out frame generation for day one, because a lot of people would definitely need it. Got to be a safe point around here somewhere. Here it is. Anyway guys, that was just a look at Lords of the Fallen on my AMD 7900 XTX. It plays well enough, very smooth, but you really can't maintain above 60 FPS. As soon as they enable frame generation, I'll definitely give that a try. But that is pretty much it from me, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.